Lotus Orbs, whatever it may be. Solar Crest is bought rampantly in pro games.
Solar Crest is nerfed, or would you consider it a buff?
Oh,
it's more aggressive, less defensive now.
Solar Crest is made to now counter Solar Crest. Is the kind of funny thing about the item is
I guess you're right.
They buffed it so it could counter itself.
Damn. I didn't actually think about it that way yet.
The item's OP, so like, how do we make Solar Crest worse? Let's buff Solar Crest since the item counters itself.
Interesting.
What are you thinking about?
I will say one more thing about Sven, though. You cannot come back as a Sven if you're behind. And in a pub game, you can't, because people don't know how to end the game. So if your early game sucks as Sven, you can sneak off and do some jungle and maybe come back in a pro game. If
you can
early
have
game
someone
sucks, what do you do?
stacking ancient for you.
I mean, yeah, but then the other team knows that there's a Sven. They're always having a focus on that ancient. Remember, that's how Team NP even existed for a while, was spamming Sven and stacking ancients. So those days are over in Pro Dota.
Yeah. We have picks, by the way, so I don't think we're going to see a Sven, but who knows? War Room, what do you think we're going to see?
Hello, Beastmaster. Thunderbirds have decided to go full
Did I grab that one? I don't think I grabbed that one.
You've got a Beastmaster.
I definitely didn't. I think SG's going to grab this one, though, the Night Stalker. Very good versus Beastmaster, and this is just a hero that's getting a lot more popularity, especially in the Vision game. So, versus Beastmaster, could be quite good.
Actually, previous game, I think Initiation was very, very important. Beastmaster and Night Stalker with that Vision game. It just is that a little step up from previous game in terms of Initiation. I like that. That would be good. So what do we expect to see first picks from SG here? Because they're taking a long time. I don't think they were expecting.
I mean, they might just get the CM again, I feel.
Yeah, I
don't think there's anything wrong with
I grabbed 3.
You have 3, okay.
CM Sand King or like Night Stalker CM or one of the combos of like these heroes.
Do you think maybe even picking up the Earth Sprint in the first 2 if you want to play it again, SG? Because yeah, King RD, he did have a really good time in the laning stage on his Earth.
He did have a good time. So they grabbed the Sand King, so kind of expected that one. It's a very popular hero that's gained a lot of strength. It can be ran in 2 different roles.
Which role are SG more likes?
I think it's more than likely going to be King RD being playing it. So
you think they're roaming around?
Yeah, so I'll put in the safe lane then.
Okay.
Even though he's going to be moving around a lot.
5 seconds.
Oh, they're really taking their time on this one.
You can just grab a support here if you really want. Leave the Sand King open, whether it's off lane or 4. But no, they
go for the Legion again.
Legion worked out really well, I think, previous game.
Yeah, Tov had a few good kind of jump-ins. You know, we saw how good it was against the Lone Druid. And, I mean, maybe a couple of situations. There were obviously some whiffed initiations from him where he jumped into his death. And he didn't really get a lot of dual damage at the start. It was a little slow-paced for the Legion.
He was a little bit too early with his duels. They were also the ones that he did win. They were very close.
Yeah, he did get some because I think it was just the pace of the game. The fact that because you weren't winning enough duels, this Lone Druid was just getting miles ahead.
This time it's great versus the Beastmaster though. You can just purge the roar off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
That's definitely like a bigger one for this one. Because last game, it's like he wants to be able to purge off some spells, but it's Black Hole. You can't really do anything. Thunderbirds just going to go with Lone Druid again.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, Rezo had a really nice game that last time. You know, he wasn't pressured at all. Maybe they're thinking SG don't really know how to shut down the Lone Druid in the early games. Let's just pick up one of these heroes that's going to be guaranteed to get the space to farm. And again, if they're able to push it to the time that game 1 went to, it's going to be very hard for SG to deal with Resolution starting to push down lanes and just throwing the bear at the tower and the Rex that we saw, just really ending game 1, just with the Mask of Madness, just onto a Rex. Doesn't matter if the bear dies, you're still getting yourselves further and further towards the victory.
Objective Sieger, Objective Taker with Beastmaster sounds good to me.
Do you think SG is going to get that Lifestealer again? They seem to really like that combo last time, but now they have Beastmaster with that BKB piercing stun. Pretty easy.
True. I mean, it seemed pretty kind of a good solution to taking down the bear. Just having some sort of a hero that can do something about Lone Druid's bear.
I think it's also struggles versus bear though. You get rooted, you get kited, you can't get to the hero itself. You're against raw, so I think I think lifesteal is very bad against both those 2 heroes. As much as it's nice to chomp on the bear, I think it was good against like the off lane Lone Druids a bit, but these safe lane Lone Druids that hit a Radiance.
I mean, what sort of heroes are good against, or is it always the situation that you want to be taking down the hero itself rather than focusing on drafting to kill the bear?
How about a Phoenix?
I mean, last time Phoenix was banned. It's not been banned out this time. It's still there, yeah.
Gives them some more teamfight, which they lacked a bit last game. I mean, Sand King already gives them that element as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think if they're... I think maybe they want to go for some type of aggro thing this time, RSG, like to pressure Lone Druid, right? Because Lone Druid was the problem completely last time, and he just reigned free the entire game. So maybe they'll try to pick a more aggressive kind of lineup as well. Even the last game they were very aggressive, but it wasn't their picks. It was just like their movements with the Ember Spirit. But Thunderbirds bans out the CM and the Lifestealer, so thinking that SG is going to go with the same route since they went for the way.
I like those two bands. I mean, they're very much couple picks.
Hero that got buffed, right?
Oh, yes.
What were the buffs on the Wyvern line?
Plus 2 seconds on flight time, so you can get a couple extra hits during your queue.
Wow.
Arctic Burn.
Arctic Burn,
boy,
yes.
oh boy.
We'll see some more experimentation with these 5 positions because they all got buffed.
I mean, that's super good already. Against the Lone Druid Beastmaster lineup, you know, any hero that gets turned on by that team is going to die in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, the Curse has always been incredibly good versus Beastmaster, but then also Cold Embrace versus Lone Druid and Beast is incredibly good. You just, negate all the type of damage that comes out after the roar. Thunderbirds goes for line, so some single target burst and control.
And yeah, so a great way as well to react to an SK and a Legion jumping into the middle of a fight. If you've got the Vision game strong, which you're going to have with the Beastmaster Hawks, Beastmaster with the Hawks line with the instant Hex, those two things make it so hard for a Sand King or Legion to get into the front lines of a fight, because every time you're just going to get instantly turned into a toad.
Into it, boys. All right. Let's see here.
Enchantress ban.
Yeah, that was an interesting ban.
I mean, I guess it's what Enchantress is pretty good against the Wyvern with the just to still kill through the Embrace. Or...
That's probably it. Yeah, that's a lot of magical damage.
Hero that's just been seeing more popularity as well. Manila got picked up a couple times after NP showed it a few. Good hero to push with Lone Druid and that frontliner with Beastmaster too.
So which core would fit for SG if it's not Lifestealer, because that one got banned?
I want to go.
Oh, taking the route that we saw EG do a lot of Manila.
Old school.
The Razor pickup.
The old school like Razor versus Lone Druid kind of matchup thing used to happen a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
Got kited a lot last game, so I think this game they're like, we want some ranged cores and make it a bit harder for Thunderbirds to kite us around.
But it's not that exciting of a hero.
Well,
we put it nice.
It's not gonna be rough too. It doesn't roar. Probably break the link of whoever he's got. I mean, he's got to be pretty close for that static link.
But if he is roared, you'll still have his ultimate that does things, and you still really can't initiate on him that much if there's actually fight going on. And that also means that Legion Commander is not roared, that she can do.
And I guess also it's nice as well, Thunderbirds, they do have good lockdown, but it's all single target. So already these heroes are going to try and initiate on the Razor. They're then going to get themselves self-purged. The buffs are going to disappear. They're going to be slowed down, and there's a chance for the Sand King or the Legion to just jump back in and punish these heroes that are certainly badly out of position. They just don't have the movement speed to get back out.
Yeah, and that also means that you would use the roar defensively rather than aggressively.
It's good to just run at the Lone Druid too. I mean, you link the bear, you just run in, and you have these other tools to kind of save you. If he does get locked down by a Beastmaster roar, you have the LC back you up with the press the attack. And you just focus the attention onto yourself. You're just running with the Razor, and then you give your Sand King and your Wyvern better opportunity, because you never want to just go in with your Sand King or Wyvern. You want someone else to pull the attention onto you, and then they can follow up.
Razor will do,
So Razor can definitely do that. Invoker being grabbed up for Weehaw. Haven't seen this one in a while. I love Weehaw Invoker.
Very strong as well. I mean, one of those heroes I feel a lot of times that when the Wyvern is picked up, the Invoker's normally banned, because already this Cold Embrace becomes a liability for yourselves. You're just setting up for Sunstrikes. Thunderbirds already with the line have good setup for Weehaw across the map. So certainly could be scary letting that Invoker slip through to Thunderbird.
Oh, would you have Razor mid or safe lane?
I think you have a safe lane here. I don't think you want to do him against the Invoker, do you?
It's more than likely safe lane, but I mean, it's still open. Like, they can still switch it up.
I mean, I kind of like your idea. Maybe have that Razor in the aggressive lane farming against the Lone Druid. You know, make it hard for the bear to really get in on the CS. You've got the link to force him to back out and be very careful how much he gives away. I feel that could be a lane that SG could turn up to, and then they could certainly win.
Man, I just remembered about Alacrity Bear, huh? Alacrity Lone Druid Bear, huh? Sieging.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
it's pretty brutal.
It's even more siege potential than they had in Game 1, sure, from Thunder. If they can get through the early stages of this game, I mean, already just the fact that you've revealed you've got a Razor core, if you're SG, you do not want this game to, I feel, to go past like the 30-40 minutes unless you've massively shut down resolution, because you're just going to straight up lose against Thunderbirds pushing down your lanes at that stage of the game.
if you're Thunderbirds, how greedy can you be with your last support pick? Because I feel they got pretty good lanes regardless, so they can basically pick whatever, right? They can get pretty greedy.
I think they want to...
special. Oh, Lich pick. There you go. Buff up the bear even more, I guess. Put that armor on him and suddenly, you know, they just can't click it.
Lich got a buff.
Did get a buff.
He can now sacrifice every 18 seconds at max level rather than every 24 seconds or something. It was a pretty big buff. But
it's a weird buff because like at level 4 deny, you're not really spamming it as much anymore. I don't...
Yeah, it starts at the same level as it was normally.
Tinker. I mean, certainly a hero that you get the Ags on Tinker, you've got a way of shutting down this push from the bear and such for a bit of time. It's, you know, as long as Adriana has a good start, the Tinker could be exactly what they need to hold it off. But then you've got to ask yourself, is holding it off for a Razor to outcarry a Lone Druid going to be a good plan? But, well, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
We will see.
Thank you, gentlemen. Is it enough, gods?
Tough Tinker game. There's Beastmaster to hunt him down. The Hawk's always going to be able to give vision, so I think it's very hard for this hero to win them the game. It can buy them some time, can defend high ground, but I don't think their late game is going to be able to deal with an Invoker Lone Druid, so I'm going to go Thunderbirds 2-0.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Thunderbirds too. I like the Winter Wyvern at first, but as Owen said, he picked it a little bit too early. They have a lot of things that capitalize on the Winter Wyvern now, so... Yeah, not looking too great with that pick, so I'll be going there. So
we're all going for Thunderbirds, and well, hopefully SG can once again try to prove us wrong again. Last game they had a pretty good showing of doing that. So let's find out if they can prove us wrong this time round.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the casting desk. I'm ODPixel. I'm here with my boy Fogged, and we're ready to go into Game 2 of the first series of the day. It is, of course, Thunderbirds up against SG Esports. We've just seen the drafts. A little excited as there are some, well, at least a hero that I thought we don't see a lot. Lich coming into the mix as Misery will pick it up.
We got two, right? We got like two. This is pretty... I mean, I'm glad to see new heroes, people trying stuff out. This is definitely the place to be doing it, at least trying a bit. And I think it works quite well. I mean, the Lich has gotten several buffs throughout the patches. Chain Frost getting buffed up a couple of times, as Shiva mentions, the Sacrifice buff, and I think the Ice Armor is just pretty strong. It can always guarantee your off lane too. So if like Misery's paired up with Moon Meander can get a very, very good lane for himself.
Yeah, and I feel really the Ice Armor. Oh, they love those sound bites, Thunderbirds, and I love them too. Keep them coming. But the Lich as well, you know, with that Ice Armor, it's also sort of a pseudo-answer really to the Winter's Curse. You know, if all your cores have the Ice Armor on them, it doesn't matter if the team's hitting them because you're going to be slowing down that boosted attack speed that the Winter's Curse is giving them, and there's a chance you're going to be able to keep them alive, even if they're cursed up and caught in like a massive ultimate from the Wyvern.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool point. I think also it gives them more fight. You know, they don't really have like early game team fight on the side of Thunderbirds so much. It comes out a lot from just later on because Lone Druid and Invoker both take some time to get their items going along. Lich is gonna hit 6 pretty quickly and be able to just join the fray. That would be pretty nice. Some nice magic burst coming out too.
Oh, look at this as well. King, he's got the Sand King set. We didn't see Misery in game 1,
look
but
at that thing.
Lovely stuff from the Brazilians, making sure that they're kitted out good.
He's got level 1000 compendium.
Has he actually?
He does. Look, he's got the little...
What a madman. There we go.
Little symbol.
He is loving that victory money from Kiev. Straight back to Valve. I love it. I love it. That's where mine goes as well. Have you leveled up your compendium yet, Fog?
Not yet.
No,
I'm gonna
not yet.
I know their tricks. They're waiting to release stuff later on, so I know you want to wait.
I'm waiting for the discount bundle, you know, they did last time. I'm waiting to get myself some cheap levels.
I still want to get my Wisp set, but that'll come soon. So mid lane looks like they're doing the kind of similar thing. Top lane Tabo getting blocked up. He's trying to pull the creep wave, and it looks like Rezo's trying to meet the wave in the river, so we're going to have some weird battle right now going on in the river.
Some farming in the river here. Yeah. Sticking with the aquatic theme that Valve are trying to push. Gaben will be happy. So this is where the new safe lane is for Thunderbirds for the time being.
Yep, and Tapo's I think he just goes and runs to the other wave now. He should probably
catch the next
pull this one as best as possible, and then, he should be able to get the next wave. But yeah, they're doing the similar strategy though. They're putting King RD around the mid lane, around Adriano, and they're trying to pressure Weehaw. Kind of as expected. It's a Tinker favored matchup already, but with the Sand King coming in and also stacking your jungle, you come out even more ahead. So that he is also stacking. So he's going to be just surging Adriano's game is. I think that's like a really big game plan for SG Esports in general. Like this guy is their big playmaker.
Oh, it really is. We saw what Adriano was able to do on the Ember Spirit. I'm excited to see what he can do on the Tinker.
Yeah.
After that Game 1 performance. No doubt at all about that. And yes, we got this top lane, Tavo. I feel like this lane less scary than maybe the Game 1-1 with both the Witch Doctor and the Sand King hanging around, but does still have to be a little careful once Saxa starts to grab the levels. Mid lane, SG actually coming in with the wraparound here. They've caught Weehaw out. He'll drop the Meteor. It's not going to be enough to save him as SG pick up the first blood. And again, well, we saw this in Game 1. Just SG very good at coordinating these movements and ganks towards the mid lane.
They did that one very quick too. The lane obviously gets pulled back on the side of Thunderbirds to their tower because the Lich denies. So the Wyvern doesn't hesitate at all. He actually cuts through the Ancient path and goes toward mid, while HFN walks up very heavily in pressure. So able to find a nice, easy rotation because his pull is actually blocked as well. So he doesn't have anywhere else to go. That was actually like his best possible movement that he could do on the Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, really nice stuff there. Bottom lane, what are we seeing from the Rays at the moment? Pretty much being left in this 1v1 because the support's moving around, but HFN
top lane, King
is fine with it.
Invis.
Ooh. And resolution relatively low, in fact low enough, straight in with the Burrow Strike and the overwhelming odds. SG pick up the second kill. And again, SG just seem to be so good at these roaming movements that we're catching Thunderbirds off in Game 1. They continue to do so here in Game 2 already.
Yeah, the early game has been really nice in both games. And I mean, he does get a bit lucky getting the Invis rune in both games as well, but still.
Nice bottom lane. HFN, you know, been left alone for the most part. Wyvern's going to turn across, make sure that HFN gets a good static link off, and we'll be able to continue to have a very nice time in this bottom lane. 13 for 5 against the 4 for 1. So all good at the moment for this Razor on the safe lane, been getting a lot of experience out of it as well. The mid lane CS, 16 for 9 against the 8 for 5.
Bottom lane, HFN, they've got the Cold Embrace though.
It's hard to finish him off.
Yeah, they've got another nuke soon if he can get a deny from the Lich.
He can turn and chase down Moon here.
Moon might be in some trouble. Do they get the block? They do get the block on him.
They've got him. They've trapped him in here on the lane.
But it turns.
does go down, but as long as they can get the kill, they'll be happy, but it doesn't look like they can. The Duke's there. It pays off for Thunderbirds. Very close to being able to turn it around there as the Wyvern throws his life away in an attempt to secure HFN the kill, but just not quite enough damage on just still the level 1 static link. Not able to steal enough to finish off the kill.
Yeah, they're emphasizing a lot on Moon this game, helping his lane out a lot, as I thought they kind of would with the Lich pick. So I mean, it's working out right there. As soon as the Cold Embrace is used, they just turn targets. Even though he does get a nice body block, it's a very squishy Winter Wyvern. Although he has high health, his armor is extremely low early game.
Yeah, what are we seeing on top lane? Tavo certainly has to be careful. I'm sure he'll be hoping for another rotation to come in soon to try and do something, but even with that rotation in the kill, Resolution still in a similar position to where he was in Game 1. He's having a great opening. He's still getting the farm, getting the CS. We saw how much of an issue that bear became in Game 1, so we'll see if Thunderbirds can continue to keep him safe. In the river, this man is in trouble, and this man is dead. C4T caught out there as Misery and Weehaw chase him down. And Weehaw picks up a bit of gold here. Saxa actually finding the catch up. Weehaw, oh, it's enough. Oh, no, it's not. The neutral creep gets the deny. Good attempt by Thunderbirds, but just a little unlucky there with the Ogres.
Great awareness.
Finishing off Tavo.
Great awareness, though, by Saxa. Like, he saw Tavo backing out at low HP, and it's 5-minute mark. So he's like, okay, the Shrine is up. If I can get him before he's able to use the Shrine, it's massive for me. So he does go for that chance with Weehaw's Sunstrike, but as you mentioned, the Ogre does get the last hit. At least he's dead for 24 seconds. Makes him respawn a bit slower. But yeah, I mean, Tavo's doing still great in this offlane with that rotation that came up from King RD, so he should still be quite happy.
Bottom lane, straight up. King RD comes in with a rotation yet again, and we'll secure the kill here for the two of them.
Yeah, this guy is just always an early game playmaker. Is their Spirit last game? Now it's the Sand King coming around. He's just putting a lot of pressure on the lanes. They do spot him out now, moving toward Weehaw.
I'll tell you what, if he gets a Blink Dagger this game at similar timing to he was able to in Game 1 on the Earth Spirit, he is going to be a massive threat. Coming in, he'll burst an Infused Raindrop charge. With the turnaround, he doesn't have any points yet in the Sandstorm, and King RD went a little bit of a suicidal mission there. As Weehaw says thanks for the kill, And we are, of course, backed up into the jungle. We're going to see him catch back. Oh, that is lovely. We are absolutely loving life there. A kill, a regen. Good times for the man, and good efficiency as well. You know, they're giving him this jungle where he's constantly stacking up, clearing them out, and mid lane, Misery, sapping up the XP, getting a fair bit of farm as well on the Lich. And this, of course, will give him that very nice timing on the level 6 here because of how Thunderbirds are splitting up and delegating the different areas of the map for the team.
Yeah, he's going to have it extremely early.
Yeah, 7 minutes, level 6.
7 minutes, level 6. And then he can make rotations, Beastmaster Roar with the Chain Frost. That pretty much kills anybody early game. They even have the global potential from the Sunstrike on top. And that's all going to be space made for Resolution. They're going to just try to make action away from this Lone Druid.
And again, you've really got to look at Resolution and say, well, what are SG going to do about him? They had that problem in game 1, and already it seems like that may open up to be a problem again. Obviously, the good news for SG is they are getting farm on the Razor. The mid lane, of course, because it is a Lich, it's not too much the Misery can do to keep Adriana out of the lane, so the Tinker continuing to have free reign. At this rate, should get a good timing on the boots of travel. So it's a strong start for the Tinker. It'll just be a question of how much Adriana can do on the heroes. And there's definitely potential there because we've seen what he can do with an Ember. Can he do the same on a Tinker with an equally as good start?
He's going to need time, though, to build up. Even after he gets the boots of travel finish, he just top lane, Sunstrike coming out. Babo, they've got the Cold Embrace coming out and the Razor rotating in. Thunderbirds know something's up. They have the lane ward as well, so they see the rotations.
I swear that Sunstrike didn't do much damage at all. It definitely hit him, though, didn't it? I guess the creeps, there's too many creeps in the AoE.
I think it got split at least 2 ways.
Yeah, the creep, it looked like it just got him on one creep, but I guess, a few of the creeps must have been in that AoE.
Yeah.
And so, didn't do nearly enough. You mentioned the save was already there from the side.
So Adriano, he's got his boots of travel pretty much finished up, and this is actually a nice move from SG. This is the difference that they didn't do the last game. They're pressuring the enemy safe lane. Misery though, invis with Chain Frost.
And drops it straight away. They get the root as well. There'll be a Cold Embrace to try and buy some time. But these great bounces as well, bringing Tavo down low. Tavo trying to get himself out to the sidelines. Isn't going to make it. They'll lose the Razor as well. And as you said, good intentions from SG, but not expecting that play there from Misery. I mean, we already talked about the incredibly quick levels he was getting in that mid lane. To turn up like that, level 7 on the Lich at 8 minutes in, having an Invis rune, perfect for Thunderbirds to turn around that attempt from SG to claim some control of this safe lane from Rezo, and it massively backfires on them.
Yeah, I like their idea, though, of pressuring the lane, but yeah, Misery's perfect rotation, being over-leveled, and he actually maxed the sacrifice. He's got the 1-1-4 build, so he's just running around chain-killing his own allied creeps. Getting that experience going.
And I guess that is interesting because what as Gods was saying, normally you don't max this out, right? So the benefit, the buff that's been made to the level 4 is not normally appreciated. But if you're giving the Lich the solo lane and just maxing it first, you're loving that reduced cooldown.
I mean, he's going to be crazy high level this game, that's for sure. And we mentioned like their draft takes time on Thunderbird, so that's like the beauty of why they wanted to go for the Lich, that early game pressure that the hero does place with Chain Frost. And it's pretty low cooldown now. It's only 100 seconds at level 1. So it's going to be up again in about 80 seconds.
And it goes down a lot. What's it at level 3 once he gets there? If he
gets down to 60.
Down to 60.
So it's 180, 60, yeah.
And as we saw, I mean, it makes it very hard for, well, a lot of these heroes to get. It's so hard for the Razor then to lock down on a target with the static link because you instantly have to Delta split. You got to get yourself out of there. If the Chain Frost is flying in. As chasing down will certainly mean drawing aggro from multiple creeps. The bouncers will be there.
Here we go, smoke coming out. Misery eats another creep. It's up again in 15 seconds. He's actually just using it every single time the cooldown's up. He's level 8 already on this Lich.
It's good as well. Sure, it weakens your potential at this stage of the game in terms of the Frost and the armor. But you know that with the start that Resolution's had, this game's going to go on. And when it gets to the later portions, you are going to have fantastic leveling on this Lich.
Oh, HFN. Is he going to get baited here? Looks like he should. Are they able to get the Roar?
He's got to get back.
They're trying to.
I'll get the Hawk out. It is a little risky. We saw in game 1 a failed dive from Thunderbirds on this tier 1, so I'm sure they'll be a little careful about going for this play again this time.
Especially without line 6, but now they just gave him the tome, so now he does have Finger online, so they have that heavy burst potential to bring him down before any backup can come. King RD, though, waiting in the trees. They're trying to get the wrap-up round from Saksa. Tinker is coming in, so is the rest of SG. and they should be able to just thwart that Thunderbirds gank. But Weehaw, Resolution, both during this, just farming, kind of as expected. You know, Thunderbirds is trying to peel the aggression away from the Lone Druid, peel it away from the Invoker so they can just farm, because that's what these heroes need to do. So good game plan coming out from them, and they're executing it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yes, and it's certainly a less rocky opening than Thunderbirds had in game 1 in comparison to SG. And of course that game, Thunderbirds were able to bring it back. So the fact that they're coming out of this laning stage already with an edge is certainly worrying for SG.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a very heavy farm game.
Yeah, for sure.
Dire's middle tower has been
which
denied.
Doesn't really suit the Razor too well. Like, he wants to be able to pressure towers and be that mid-game dominator, but when the other team's just farming and they have better late game than you, it is definitely a problem. They have to find a way to force those towers. Be able to get that Sand Blink Dagger would be nice. Getting higher levels on the Tinker so that he can have higher levels of Rocket and get involved in those engagements.
I mean, we're seeing that as well with the XP difference just really starting to pan out, and I feel like a lot of that is down to the Lich. What are the levels like in comparison between the Lich and the supports of SG? What are the levels of the supports on SG?
So it's 5-6 and 9-6.
Level 9 on Misery. It makes a huge difference, it really does, maxing it out. He can play very greedy with the levels. And, I mean, levels on Lich, what are the talents like? Do we have any really tasty ones? I mean, level 10, what'd you take? The movement speed sounds pretty good. Plus 25, that's quite a bit.
Movement speed's pretty nice. They're both good. Yeah. I think the movement speed's probably better for this one. And then his other talents, yeah, I mean, Cast Range or Frost Blast cooldown. Frost Blast cooldown drops to 4 seconds.
Yeah, I think you take that, don't you?
That's pretty ridiculous in team fights.
Halving the cooldown.
And then 150 damage.
You gotta take that. We've got a catch out here. Whoa, Chain Frost to the grave. And there will be a turnaround attempt here from the side. As they look to Saxa, they'll catch him out with a wraparound. King RD with a Burrow Strike. But at the end of the day, it is SG losing their Legion.
Yeah, Thunderbirds overcommitted a little bit for it, but either way, they get a Legion trade for a Lion, whatever. That's fine by them. And they're pressuring the off lane.
Moon is going deep as well. He's hunting
down
with this,
as well.
with Prezzo as well. Tinker in a lot of trouble here. The Sunstrike comes through. Tinker's out and down. They don't even need to use the Roar for him. They can save that for the next target, and indeed they do. Moon drops it onto King RD. They'll turn around, bring down the SK. TPs are cancelled by SG as they realize this fight in the bottom lane is lost, and the tier 1 will almost certainly fall as well. Very, very nicely done there. Moon coming straight in, wrapping around the tower with that Hawk, ensuring that the fight was going to be good for Thunderbirds. They've got the vision advantage. They know that backup is limited. It's time to hit hard.
And Misery during all this just armors the tower. And
TP's out.
And just TP's is going to get cursed, so he'll actually pay with his life for this one. But he's stalling so much on these tower pushes that they're able to get their own trades in a much better fashion on Thunderbirds. SG will at least claim this top tower here, but
it took them a lot longer than Thunderbirds did to take theirs. Yeah.
Now they get access to the enemy jungle. Moon Meander has pretty much got book 1 finished up. Resolution's got his relic soon. Very, very close to it. Weehaw pretty much has Aghanims almost done now because of those Sunstrike kills that he's netted himself. He is 4-1 after getting pressured super hard in the laning phase.
What do we got going on Misery? Is he going to build a Midas? He is.
Yeah, he is.
I like it.
Yeah, might as well.
I like it.
In this type of game, it's like, you know, we just take this game late. We can defend our towers with Frost Armor. They don't have good siegers at all on the side of SG. I think they're fine with this game going as slow as possible. Until the Radiance comes online. Once they get Radiance, once they get Aghanims on the Invoker, that's Thunderbird's go time. They can even just walk into the pit pretty much and try to go for that. It is a bit difficult versus Tinker, but they're going to be much stronger.
I mean, that is certainly another weakness of SG's draft. Maybe they can fight around the pit, but they really struggle at taking Roshan in comparison to the speed that, I mean, Thunderbirds, you said, they can waltz in and they can take it down very quickly with their lineup. King RD very close to his Blink Dagger, so a very crucial thing in terms of setting up and really finding some action as well for Tavo. Trying to get some dual wins for the Legion is going to be pretty crucial.
The Hawk is going to put a big factor into this game, because every time that they do try to go for those type of sieges or Roshans, they're going to have vision. They should have decent vision of SG.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's pretty much no excuse if Saxa and Moon are around for Thunderbirds not being able to just instantly hex one of the initiators. And then suddenly SG are losing one hero. And then how are they fighting back with the rest? It's down to Adriano to make sure that he gets a lot done in these fights. How's he doing on items? He finished off his blink, didn't he, on the Tinker?
He's very close to it.
He's very close to it.
He's got max rockets as well now too, so he can actually get involved in some fights. But now Thunderbirds, they've got the relic on the bear. They can just start sieging with this book as well. If he wants to use it, he might just be able to save it for an engagement. Looks like that's what he's going to do. And this is going to be a heavy gain for Thunderbirds here, because SG doesn't take objectives really. They just push lanes out.
And it's, you know, the Razor, he got the farm in the lane, but he didn't necessarily win a lane. You know, it wasn't a lot of action for him. Sure, a couple of rotations came in and set up some kills. But at this stage, you know, when we're looking at the pace the game's going, what, 16 minutes in, would you rather have a position 1 Razor with Blade Melon and drums, or would you rather have a Lone Druid that's got minus and radiance? It's going to be scary.
He can probably go down here. The roar, the book is activated. Do they have another rotation coming in? Misery is trying. This is a fast Razor,
It's a speedy Razor with the phase and the drums.
And he's got the
speedy enough. Bottom lane, in fact, the rockets fly through. They'll catch out Saxa.
Nice. Yeah, Razor actually went for the move speed talent too, so he is he's booking it. I see Arteezy always goes for the 15 agi, but
oh, does he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's, I mean, pretty hard to catch. Whatever, that's fine. He wants to be able to run into heroes as well, just run in and start the engagements. But Weehaw still just content. He's just like, all right,
well, AFK jungle.
Just AFK jungling, getting my bots, getting my Midas, getting my Aghanims, feeling good. Rezo's pretty much got the Radiance finished up if he wants to buy it very soon.
Wait, does he not go down the courier?
No, he doesn't. I thought he did. I clicked on the wrong hero. It's weird, like when I click on a hero, and then if I click on Weehaw and then I click on the bear, it doesn't show the bear's gold.
Come on, Valve. Can we get that fixed? That was confusing, because I was like, what? He's got 2.3k, what? I mean, as we see the Observer, Weapons demonstrating the bug there.
Yeah, it confused me for a moment as well.
It is confusing. Right, I'll get the Frog to fix that after this game.
Misery getting ran down. HFN with the Blade Mail. Ooh, stun just off the mark. That movement speed. Saxa even target stun there.
Look at this bottom lane. They go for a duel, but with the Sunstrike, it's now Tavo that's potentially in trouble. They'll jump forward with the Burrow Strike though, and SG get resolution. Top lane. HFN looking to play around a bit with Weehaw, but a quick tornado will outweather the storm. And HFN is held back. They'll get the Roar onto the Wyvern straight up with the Chaos Meteor. No Cold Embrace is going to save you for that. Doesn't even get the chance to. Too much damage flying through.
Havoc all across the map.
Yeah, it really is. They may have killed Rezo, but...
That was pre-Radiance though, so that's a pretty big kill on Rezo.
True, it is shutting down his Radiance timing, but as we saw there, you know, Weehaw is now at a point where it's like, well, you kind of did a better job at dealing with Rezo in these opening 20 minutes, but you were unable to do what you did against Weehaw as they did in Game 1. You know, at least in Game 1 they slowed down the Templar Assassin a bit because they had good control of Thunderbird's jungle, but we saw this time as well, Weehaw pretty much prioritizing picking up the farm on that jungle near the bottom lane, where it's a lot harder for SG to invade. And so he was a lot safer, and even though the SG had the vision in Thunderbird's main jungle, he just wasn't there most of the time. And he's now at a point where, what, 10,500. He's going to be very hard to shut back down this Invoker.
It's pretty much like, in this one, it's pick your poison.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to deal with? Do you want to deal with the Invoker, or do you want to deal with a super farmed Lone Druid? Oh, look at those Forge Spirits. Those are new, huh?
What's he got there?
Look, they're like the tentacle Forge Spirits, too.
Oh.
They're running down here.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Tentacles.
They're like little octopus or something.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Those look pretty sweet. I like this Invoker.
They're like little Squidwards.
Yeah, they're cute. I like them.
Cute?
I do.
Would you call an octopus cute? I don't know.
I like them.
Scary stuff.
They've got Radiance online now. They've got Book 2 finished on Moon. He's almost got Book 3. Yeah. They can start being a bit more aggressive, getting some siege. They just lost all their ward vision on the side of Thunderbirds too, so they'll probably put ward vision down before they try to go for any type of Roche engagement. Saxa finishes up his Blink Dagger too. Yeah, it's go time now for them. They are ready. But SG is at least trying to get a trade-off here. They are being able to pressure the top lane tower. It's a bit.
Oh, this tier 2 is going to be lost though. No way that SG can turn up to stop this sort of a push. And
Alacrity Bear
gone.
rips through the tower, no problem.
Yeah, I really feel as well, like, how do they kill this bear? Like, they just... You don't have the damage.
It's gonna be hard. I mean, even if they do kill the bear, then it's Weehaw that's gonna be in the back line. So they have to.
Oh, a surprise move.
Yeah,
that was a weird. There we go, Moo, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be seeing some of him later today. We've got a complexity game out there, I believe so. We're having some of his.
Wait, what happened?
You didn't see it on the main stream. It just showed Moo's player profile.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking at my screen.
Oh yeah, you're analyzing hard.
I'm looking at stuff. Yeah.
Just a quick
I missed it. Oh man.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell is Owen going on?
Why is he talking about Moo? We're looking at him.
Yeah, Thunderbirds, they're, like we said, super content with taking this game to later stages. SG at least able to claim their first tier 2 of the game, but they're not able to find team fights. Even though they have this Sanking and Tinker and Wyvern for this like team fight kind of thing, they're just getting split up by Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Toxic gets some good aggressive ward down. Have eyes on the Razor and eyes on the Wyvern. Looks like Seaparty's going to be the target.
Or
maybe.
Is.
Oh, there we go. He spotted him.
They got him. He is out and down. I'm still some time here, but once again, Cold Embrace is not going to save you from the burn of the Sunstrike.
SG set up for top. They know Rezo's around the area. They want to try to make a go. They're able to actually find him.
We'll jump forward with the Burrow Strike and the Epicenter. Solution surrounded. They should get this kill. They will do indeed. They'll even get the dual damage as well. Misery now turning up. The question is if Thunderbirds can find more. King R will jump in with the dust. He's found the Weehaw Invoker, and they'll get him as well. The overwhelming odds from SG. Misery chased down as well. And SG Esports with what's definitely the best fight they've had this game, getting both Resolution and Weehaw. That
I don't think Rezo expected that type of movement.
He did not expect that amount of heroes to be jumping in on him.
Yeah, they saw the Wyvern bottom, and they're like, okay, you don't really expect a Wyvern just being like by himself in those kind of situations. So I don't think he expected like 3 people to go top. The double blink initiation from Tavo and from King RD. King
really
RD
nice.
as well, having a dust. Weehaw definitely did not expect that one coming out either. Gets caught out and dies. So nice little rotation coming out for them. Some small gains. Once they get the Aghanim Scepter on the Razor, that's when they can actually start getting more on the aggressor and going for those objectives. And I actually think he has it finished. Yeah, he does have it finished.
He does, don't he? Yeah. Oh, Raw. That's the Wyvern. And he is gone. Level 3 Necros, pretty damn strong. As he is out of the game. But yeah, so, I mean, on the Razor, so is this the build, then you get the Ags, or like, do you like the Aghanim's pickup?
Yeah, it's very good versus like the Lone Druid and the way to deal with the ice armor.
Okay.
Because you're able to siege through it, and the minus armor that gets applied by the extra the ticks from the storm.
Hey, having a go here. In fact, they're jumping in. That's a beautiful duel straight in onto the Weehaw Invoker. The Chain Frost does come out, forcing them to split up. They will lose the Legion for this, but HFN looking to try and man up for more stacks. He jumps in with a Hex, taking heavy damage there from the ultimate. They had to back off. Moon will find the double, but now he's surrounded. King R, can he chase him down with the Sandstorm, bringing Moon down low? Will look to TP himself out of there. The Rockets, they didn't have the vision to get onto Moon. Moon will be successful with the TP out. The rest of the 3 will not, though. The Bear trying to finish off King RD, but the laser comes through. No more right clicks to follow up, and King RD will get himself back out. And again, SG Esports taking 3 kills, only losing 2. Very nicely done there. And I guess that in that fight, we really did see the increased power of the ultimate from Razor thanks to the Aghanims.
It did a ton of damage coming out as well inside the duel. They were both kind of like locked in. His ult, though, actually ended up killing the book. Moon chased the book on him and actually killed himself with the necro book damage that does get brought back. But still, they're showing to be able to still fight quite well if they have the amount of heroes. If they can be able to find like Thunderbirds split up, they can still take these engagements with the Tinker coming in.
And I think definitely a crucial thing is, of course, Tavo getting the duel onto the Invoker. Yeah. If you lock Weehaw down, you have an infinitely easier time of this fight. So if Weehaw's not caught there, he turns around with a combo, and suddenly SG are losing twice as many casualties. So getting the lockdown on Weehaw, very, very crucial in these fights.
Absolutely. The big thing for Moon now is having that Hawk vision is very important. He has to know exactly where the Tinker's position. He now has his Blink Dagger finished up on Beastman. So this is one of the big tools to be able to find the Tinker, because the Tinker is actually going to start becoming more and more of an issue. He's got Aghanims finished up already for him, and he's level 18 soon. So his damage potential in those kind of fights is extremely high if they can't catch him early. Weeha's done with that though. Picks up an ulti orb, Lincoln Spear recipe as well. He's like, all right, I need a Lincoln's before I want to be able to start any type of engagements. But here we go, SG looking to go for another tower siege.
Top lane, Thunderbirds looked like they were trying to set up to catch out the Tinker, but I'm going to see Adriano head there anytime soon. Indeed, the bottom lane is where the focus is for SG. Their ultimate hammering down onto the tier 1 and setting themselves one.
Yeah, it's like their only objective taker is if they have that Eye of the Storm Aghanim, so it's
true, yeah.
Super
the tower
necessary.
push is there now. Yeah.
Weeha camping out on the sides here.
Well, good setup here onto the Razor. We see Tavo trying to come in from the sidelines to find a duel, but he's a little off the mark. This team fight from SG falling apart a little bit. Now the turnaround's going to be there. Sentry's down. Saxa gets the lock onto the SK. They still do have to be careful, though, with the full lineup of SG. Moving in, HFM very low on life. In fact, the Radiance Bear is tickling him down. He's got the Cold Embrace coming out to save, and the Winter's Curse will be dropped, but now the Chain Frost bouncing. They've got to split up, and they've got to split up fast, but the Legion won't be allowed to, as Saxa locked him down with the Impale. King RD will find Rezo on the sidelines, actually getting the bigger trade here, bringing down the Lone Druid. Nice juke HFM there, off the Deafening Blast, goes for the TP. Is he going to make it? No, the finger from Saxa says, get back here. In fact, actually, Weeha was the one to actually take the kill. Looks like Weeha must have finished him off before the damage from the finger came through.
Yep.
But there they have it. They do lose Rezo, but they do manage to make SG pay with HFN going down. But I still got to say, with the heroes that they have at 28 minutes, for SG to just not be doing as bad as they potentially could do in these team fights, it's got to be good news for them. They're keeping the game going, Adriano's getting the space, and they are still managing to find trades, bringing down big cores in return for losing their own.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a botched initiation that just became like not the worst after like at the end of the day. The Legion Commander blinks into an EMP, gets mana burned, isn't able to get the position for the duel off. It gets into like an awkward position, but they're able to counter initiate with the Winter's Curse as well as the Epicenter coming out. And the fight actually goes okay.
Have we got that Halberd complete on the Legion yet? No,
almost.
Still looking for that. Still just finishing that off.
If they're able to actually make a lot of space for this Tinker, he can go pretty berserk in the team fights. If they just like run in with the Razor, Legion Commander blinks in and causes havoc. If they just keep the space open for the Tinker in the backlines, his damage potential is still through the roof, and he's going for a Hex next.
Could be very nice for the solo potential as well. And Misery, he went for the cast range over the Chain Frost. I guess it makes sense. I mean, theoretically, the halving the cooldown is nice, but I guess if you're a Lich, unlikely you're going to be able to get yourself in position to throw two of them out in a fight when that extra cast range could do wonders for just getting his Chain Frost in, making it hard for the Legion and the Tinker to and the Razor to just commit on a target.
DD Alacrity Bear. They're finally going for the Roche Pit. They actually just finished up. They pick up a gem as well, so and they're able to. They kind of saw where SG was on the map, so this was their first opportunity to actually go for it. But yeah, look at it.
That's ridiculous. And he's going to have the Mask of Madness done very shortly, and pretty much a repeat of Game 1. This is the time where we can very much expect Thunderbirds to try and push forward and break the high ground. With that, yeah, pretty much finished concoction of items on the Lone Druid. They require to do so. There's the tier 2 bottom there. SG continuing to find objectives in return for that Thunderbirds themselves are getting.
Yeah, the thing is that SG has very good tower defense. Like they have Legion Commander nuke, they not only have Tinker March, but they also have Wyvern nukes as well, so they have a lot of ways to just peel Thunderbirds off of the towers. So Thunderbirds needs to try to take an engagement in a way, but it's very hard because SG's been grouped up a lot.
I wonder, will we see, a resolution? Does he think about getting something like a BKB or an MKB for the Bear because of the laser spam that's really going to slow down what the Bear can do with these pushes?
I think he eventually probably will this game. I like them. I think the Mask of Madness is still very good because you win a fight, you take a Rax pretty much, but I think the BKB this game could definitely be quite necessary versus that Tinker spam.
What talents did we see the Bear go for, Lone Druid go for this? Was it the same?
We're waiting to see. Well, I just checked it.
Yeah, do you think, because this game with the Tinker and such, are you more tempted to go for the magic resistance? I mean, there's no lifesteal. I feel like you may be. When you have physical damage, I mean, what, Legion and Razor getting in on the Bear, it seems unlikely. Top lane, you see the fight kick off target, tries to jump in, King RD gets the burst drop through, and Weeha's gone. That's the Aegis out and down. Can they go for a round 2? That's the question. They still have the duel. Sandstorm, but they're playing it careful. Misery's turned up. And already the rest of them are on the back lines being chased down by Saxo, who gets the jump in, brings down the Razor with the finger. Moon on the sidelines finds the Roar straight up onto the Tinker. We'll get the Winter's Curse down. But at the end of the day, it's SG losing 3 there. Nice wraparound from Thunderbirds. They realized that SG were going in hard onto Weehaw, and they utilized that area of the jungle to get round, find that Tinker in the sidelines as well. Moon very quick with the Blink Roar to get him in the tree line.
Great Aegis usage.
Yeah.
I mean, he just was kind of baiting them in, and then Thunderbirds wraps around behind. Rezo went for the armor, so he just wants to counteract the Mask of Madness thing and just the sieging potential with it. And now this is their go time. Razor's dead really for 30, Tinker's still dead. They want to try to force a buyback, and this is going to die so fast when it gets alacrity with Mask of Madness.
Yeah, this is the point of the game that SG really struggled with in game 1. Let's see what they can do. There'll be a buyback on Adriano. He has to do a lot to hold them off. He has got the tools to do so, and we see there, straight up, once the laser spam starts to come through, it is very, very hard for them to commit with that bear. They need to be able to jump in and catch him. They certainly will be able to when they have the Roar back online. I think you're pretty much looking for Moon to maybe even go for the suicidal play. Just jump up, get the Roar on the Tinker, and make it so that Adriano can't continue to spam out those spells and stop the siege from Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I think the damage was done there, though. They forced the buyback, and they put a lot of damage on the tower, and now they're able to, they just get so much gold from that type of Aegis usage, which wasn't like a very clear Aegis usage, but it was just like, okay, Weehaw, go farm on your own and we'll smoke to you. And it ends up, massive benefit for them. Razor now has BKB, so he's able to actually team fight a little bit better, but Thunderbirds isn't really just straight up team fighting. They're taking these engagements in a very switched kind of manner.
And is that Misery going for the Lotus Orb, I believe? Oh no, it was Sax, sorry. Gearing up for it. Oh no, so it's King RD, okay. Oh, because Lotus Orb this game is certainly a sort of an answer, isn't it, to the Tinker? I mean, especially seeing as he's getting that Hex soon.
Yeah,
you want to have a Lotus if you're Thunderbirds.
Actually, he actually switched from the Hex to Linken's, but yeah, it's the Lotus Orb is so incredibly good versus Tinkers at all times. And yeah, like you mentioned, Resolution going for the BKB next.
Okay.
That the laser on the bear is...
It just puts an entire stop to it.
Yeah.
Like keeping that with the rearm, 100% uptime when he's out of the fountain.
The wrap behind from Thunderbirds again. They're trying to find an opportunity to sandwich SG.
Let's see if they could do it. Mass TP's coming into this shrine here. You've got to be careful already. They're losing the Wyvern as the jumps there with Moon, commits the Roar. In return, though, they have got the duel out. They'll take Saxa. The combo flies through, though, from Weehaw. Legion falling down low. They will lose, but HFN pops the BKB. Now chasing Thunderbirds as well. Away from this all, Adriano comes in with the laser jump for from King RD with the Burrow Strike. Now has to back away. Forces himself out. They'll chase him down, though, with the bear. King RD in trouble. Can he play his way out? He's got a Burrow Strike in a second. Down to the river. Jump forward from Moon. The Sandstorm Duke is there, but they've got the vision, and that is going to be the gem loss. As Moon's able to take the gem of SG, as well as his own. 2 gems on the Beastmaster now. You are down a Legion and an SK. SK down for a full minute. The Thunderbirds, again, finding a good opportunity to push in. They may have lost 2 themselves, but they still have the Invoker and the Lone Druid alive. Tornado's going to be whiffed here. HFN able to make his way around it, but in fact, he'll just be turned upon straight away. Falling low, he's sprouted up. Resolution comes in for a couple of punches. The laser, is it enough to save him? It will save him from the physical, won't save him from the meatball. Drops straight on his head by Weehaw as he taunts and ghost walks out of there.
He almost died to the Blade Mail. Using the Meteor Deafening Blast combo on Blade Mail. Very close. Moon Meander now set up on bottom, but yeah, Adriano cancels the TP. But yeah, Thunderbirds isn't giving them the opportunity to actually just take a head-on team fight. It's like, all right, Razor wants to run in and try to focus the aggression onto him, and then the Wyvern and Sand King and everybody kind of follows up with Tinker in the backlines, but it's Thunderbirds pincering them from all sides and just making these team fights so chaotic and hectic that SG can't take proper team fights. Adriano here, Saxa, Invis on the prowl.
As he got back up Saxon, not at the moment.
With Sunstrike, it's almost enough. He doesn't want to walk into all these marches, though. He's able to catch him. He gets him with the Hex.
Has he got the damage? His finger.
He's going to try.
With the Sunstrike.
Oh, he just gets him.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, I want to see how much experience.
Huge one.
Look at this experience gain. Oh, 2,000 for the Lion.
2K experience.
And now he gets that level 18, so now the finger's even more
critical.
He's
loving it. Saxa there is loving it. I'll tell you what,
that should be a Rax even, right? That was the buyback.
Yeah, he's down for
Tinker
60.
Died?
Adriano is not going to be... Did he spend his money as well? Did he get much invested on the Lincolns? He did not, so sitting on a fair bit of gold. Loses a bit of that as well, and he really is their main source of holding. Look,
my God.
There's backdoor protection on those racks. You wouldn't believe it, even if I'm telling you. But those racks just disintegrated.
Alacrity Bear. We mentioned it during the panel, during the war room and everything, but look at this damage.
You gotta keep him off. King RD just throwing himself in with the burrow strike. They've got the static link, but the bear don't care. He's out of there. Oh my goodness. I mean, they need that Tinker. The laser has been able to stop so much of that damage, but yeah, with the BKB now, it doesn't even matter potentially. That is just disgusting.
Yep.
That is like it's a tiny on steroids. It's a few hits and the racks are gone.
It looks like the Razor BKB is on cooldown. He's gonna get his mana burn, comboed up a bit. The duel comes out, but
jumps in, gets Weehard. Do they have to follow up damage? They don't. Tarbo's been left for dead. No, the backup's there. The laser comes through. The BKB on the bear. Resolution takes down Tarbo, heading in for the chase down onto the Wyvern, forcing them back, looking for Adriano, and he'll just turn back towards the racks. And the Alacrity Bear is going absolutely ham. Over a 20k gold lead now for Thunderbirds.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I have a feeling like if you're a team playing against Thunderbirds and you're watching this, you're probably saying, we don't want to play against Resolution's Lone Druid. As he just seems to be a man that knows how to find the farm unless you've really got a plan of dealing with him in the laning stage. And especially, I don't think you want to give this team Lone Druid and Invoker. That combo just seems absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it reminds me of the wing strategy with the Earth Panda and the Alacrity. But this one seems like it's even more damage.
Yeah, and it's for Thunderbirds as well, it seems even easier to pull off. You know, Weehar being one of the best Invoker players, and Resolution being incredibly comfortable on the Lone Druid. That's disgusting.
Yeah, this is, we did say though, SG, their timing window was like the 30-minute mark, like the 25 to 30-something minute mark, but Thunderbirds came out super well in the lanes and everything, and they're not giving SG the opportunity to get big team fights. It's just these scrappy engagements. And that kind of happens when you're playing versus a Beastmaster. You know, Thunderbirds is able to just pick the fights that they want because of the vision advantage. Smoke coming out from them, Roshan is spotted. They know it's up with their Hawk.
DD on the bear. That is...
They're ready to go.
Yeah, this could be the... Oh!
King RD gets spotted.
Hex to creep.
Oops.
Oh.
Oh.
Little awkward King RD's like, what's going on, boys? You're missing all your spells. And he will finally get caught out by the stun. Let's see if they can do anything in return. Does manage to Lotus Orb the finger straight back to Saxa. But that is sanking down. And look at this. Isn't that delightful? The DD Alacrity Bear forcing them to fortify straight away if they want to have any chance of holding on to these racks, and it's not going to be enough. That is just, it's gone.
That's insane. It actually has plus 450 damage when it's Alacrity with the DD.
I feel your King RD there, brings out the sad trombone, and bam, it's gone. They will find the jump in. HFN charging into the fight with the Blade Mail. BKB looking to focus onto Resolution, but the Frost Diamonds upon him, they don't have the damage to cut through. The applause is there from King RD as they may realize that it is certainly all falling apart here for SG. Cold embrace by some time for Cap, but there the Sunstrike flies in. HFN forces Weehar back.
I mean, Rezo just goes to the racks though. He doesn't care about these fights, these engagements.
Look at that bear.
Yeah,
Lone Druid.
I believe that this game should be getting closed out soon. Yeah, just Thunderbirds with a much better, like, clear game plan going into like the later stages of the game.
They know there's no hope against Megas. And we have it. GG, well played, Thunderbirds, taking themselves the 2-0s with this opening series of the NA division of DreamLeague, and SG really struggling there in the later stages of the games. We certainly saw, you know, these players on SG, they've got a lot of really strong mechanical potential. You know, Adriano having some very nice performances both, but